Lying southwest of Lucca and stretching from its very centre some 2.5 miles long is the now unused Nottolini Aqueduct. The aqueduct supplied Lucca with its fresh water. Construction started in 1823 and it was completed in 1851. However, sitting in its shadow is a very special place, predating it by 100 years, the Villa Pierotti Bagnaggi. I was staying at the Villa Pierotti, the woman who owns it, Dina. It's been in her family since 1804. The family house was built some time prior to 1730, as it appears on the local area map of that date. During our chat, the lovely woman disappeared momentarily behind a thick cellar door, and then reappeared carrying a small, carefully wrapped book. The wrapping was an aged, thin, creased, weathered cream parchment paper. It had been clearly opened and resealed many times. The book was tied up with a very faded piece of leather lace. She gently unpackaged it and undid the leather bow and explained that the book started in 1804 and recorded all her family births and deaths since that date in the actual house that we were standing in. A frail little book which contained 220 years of history sitting in her hands. Its first page opened with a flowing, beautifully small, cursive script writing. The ink now faded, and an entry of the birth of a long-lost relative. And what followed were pages of family members, beautiful flowing cursive writing, faded red, blue and black inks. Many pages later, we came to a somewhat simple biro entry with the birth of her daughter. Not just the evolution of the family, but time and of writing. The house had been in her family, who has farmed the land since 1804. Only 2 other occupiers during that time, the Germans for a short time in the 40s, and the Americans a few years later. The walls sat 2 foot thick, and huge 300-year-old beams hung over our heads in the cellar. An incredible insight into a family, its history, its roots, its feet well and truly in the community, and hands in the soil. It felt disrespectful to take a picture of the book, so I just absorbed its contents as Dean had leafed through the pages. And it was another to add to my exploration of real Italy. A real experience of time in your hands. At every turning there's someone new to meet, a story to share, and something to learn. It never ceases to amaze me. Laura Clarfield once wrote, "People are guests in our story, the same way we are guests in theirs. But we all meet each other for a reason, because every person is a personal lesson waiting to be told."